everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rachel and I am knitting. Not right now, but most of the time, and I have been knitting, so I'll tell you all about it. Today's video is episode 15 of my weekly podcast series, which is a weekly video that I do, and I basically sit down and I tell you all about my knitting and my spinning and my general fiber shenanigans over the course of the past week. Now, before we get started, let's just address the elephant in the room, as I have done in previous videos where this is applicable. I'm wearing makeup, and I look good. All right, let's keep going. So now that that's addressed, we can continue. Yes, great, awesome. Welcome to the podcast. This week has been pretty interesting, I'll tell you, for a few reasons. I am filming this later in the day than I normally do. Today is Monday, June 3rd. Usually I film the podcast first thing, or as first thing as I can get on Monday mornings, but it is now, what time is it? 2:30 in the afternoon. So unlike what normally happens, today I will also be including some of the knitting that I have done today. Like usually I don't have knitting done already by the time I film the podcast during the day that I'm filming, but today I do. So what a treat for you. Hooray. Okay, so basically that means this episode covers my knitting from May 28th through the morning / early afternoon of Monday, June 3rd. Okay, great. So exciting. Let's start with the first section of the podcast, which is project updates. I have some updates for you. Let me just tell you right now. The first of which, I probably should have started wearing this, but I didn't want to, and I'll tell you why shortly. But the first project that I have to update you on is my Kal Cardigan. Whenever I talk about this on Instagram, the captions correct what I'm saying. The captions say my cow, like moo, my cow cardigan. But this is not a cow, the animal cardigan. This is a Kal, K-A-L cardigan. Yeah, so that's what it is. I'm not talking about cows if you're confused. But this is the Kal Cardigan by Claire Jackson of Perfectly Knotted, and it is a finished object. I'm going to stand up so you can see its full glory. Okay, there's much to be said, and I'm gonna say it all. So just be patient. But here it is. It's technically done. It does not have buttons yet, but if you have a keen eye, you will notice I didn't put buttonholes in it, and that was a choice I made because I saw someone else do it. I won't tell you who, unless they want to identify themselves in the comments, but I didn't put buttonholes in it because that felt like disgusting. I didn't want to, so I didn't do it. So there's no buttonholes, but since the button band is brioche, it's easy enough to just pop a button through that and force a buttonhole, basically. So I didn't add buttonholes. I figured it'd be fine. And I actually did sew on a button earlier this morning just to see what the fit was like with buttons, or with a button, and it was fine. I could pop it through the button band, no problem. Anyway, okay, let's focus, and you can see that the Kal Cardigan is done. It is off my needles. I cast this on May 30th, and I cast this off on June 29th. I mean, wait, no. What am I saying? I cast this on April 30th and cast it off on May 29th. Time is confusing, but that is the truth. Yes, okay, so my gauge is all wrong on this pattern, which is probably no shock to you if you've been watching this channel for a while. I'm still back here far away because I'm not sure if I'm going to stand up again yet or not. So let's just put some distance between us, and I'll come back to you shortly, don't worry. But yeah, my gauge is all off on this pattern. What even is my gauge? Let me look it up. Let me first tell you what the pattern gauge is. The pattern gauge is 18 stitches and 23 rows equals 4 inches. Guess what? that's not my gauge. My gauge is 16.5 stitches and 27.5 rows equals 4 inches. So I'm just a stitch and a half off for stitch gauge, but I'm 3.5 stitches off for row gauge. Whatever, okay? My gauge is a nightmare always. I don't understand. I don't understand. I mean, I do. I understand. I get it. Everyone's gauge is unique and whatever. Like, I'm fine with the fabric that this made, but I'm very frustrated with the finished object. And I'll go into this in great detail in an upcoming video that is yet to be filmed because I'm just still raging with self-loathing about this knit a lot. And I'm not ready to do the FO diary yet, but maybe in the coming weeks I will mature and get that filmed. But yeah, see, I told you I probably was gonna stand up again, and here I go. Okay, so when it's closed, as if to be buttoned, the fit is pretty fine, pretty good. When it's open, I don't know. Here's the thing. Because my gauge was so off, my armhole depth is about 6, somewhere between 6 and 7 inches, when in the pattern it should be 9 inches according to the pattern. So this is a much more shallow armhole than what the pattern calls for. And I really don't like the proportions of this sweater because of that issue. I had to pick up 7 stitches out of 8 rows, 7 out of 8. Basically, my pickup rate was 7 out of 8 is what I'm trying to say for the sleeves. That's quite a lot of stitches. Like, that's a very high pickup rate. So I think the sleeves, I don't really love how they look. I think they would look much better with a lower pickup rate, but I needed to do such a high pickup rate in order to make these wide enough for my arms. Now, even so, I don't like the difference in the ease proportion to the proportion of ease on my arms. I don't love it. I would much prefer them to be similar. Okay, next thing that I'm annoyed about, I don't like where the arm hole, where the shoulder sits. Like, it's so low on my arm, and this is not, okay, I think that some of my frustrations, see, I must be done standing up since I'm wheeling my way back to you, but I think some of my frustrations are absolutely due to my own error, or maybe not even error, but my own methods, my own choices that I made when making this pattern. But I think that other factors are definitely due to the pattern. So I think it's like the perfect storm of choices I made and the way the pattern's written or designed that like have created a garment that I do not feel good in. It's true. Yes. One of you commented on last week's podcast and said that it seems like I want total perfection sometimes. And I'm sorry, but I must disagree with that because I am not looking for perfection. I'm looking for clothes that I feel comfortable in and that make me feel good about myself and my body. And this is just not it. And I'm so disappointed because I was so, as you know, if you've been watching, I was so looking forward to having a garment in this yarn. And I'm not sure if this will be staying in garment form. I may frog this entire thing and reknit it in a smaller size. In a perfect world, okay, so I'm not done standing up. In a perfect world, this garment would fit with less ease around the body. I would like that. And more depth to the armhole. Like, when I make this again, I will make a size down, I'm guessing, a size down, and I will add length to the panels before joining to close the armhole. So that way the depth of the armhole and the sleeve circumference will start out a little bit more the way I want, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, like I said, I'll have an FO diary with more detail. And I'm talking to Claire about this. Claire and I are friends, and I messaged her and I was like, hey, I'm gonna make an FO diary for the Kal Cardigan. I think that there are some hiccups that were caused from my choices, but then also some hiccups that were caused with how the pattern like went into my brain, like how I read the pattern and how my brain works and what I think when I'm reading a pattern. And I asked her if she, like, I said, I don't want to overstep. Do you want to know that stuff? And she said, yeah, I'd love the feedback. So I'm going to be sharing that with her. I'm not saying that I know anything about pattern writing, but I mean, this was still my experience knitting it. So I'm going to be sharing my feedback with Claire. She can take it or leave it. Like, by no means does she need to change her pattern. But I'll give you a spoiler alert of something that I am noticing with patterns, not just Claire's patterns, that is causing me grief. This happened with the Daft Days cardigan. This happened with the Isa cardigan. Who knows what else it's happened with that I haven't had the foresight or foreknowledge to be like, oh, I need this in a pattern. But I really think designers need to start adding the measurement from the armhole to the shoulder seam in their schematic. It's not enough to have a measurement from your shoulder seam to the hem, because the shoulder seam doesn't sit the same spot on every pattern. And it's just, I mean, especially for plus sizes, I think it's really, really an element to a schematic that designers need to start, like, it is a firm must-have item in the schematic of a pattern. Yeah, so that's something that this really made me realize. I'll go into more detail. Would I recommend this pattern? Yes, but with some, like, I don't know before you go, words of wisdom for you. It's a really beautiful pattern. Leslie has knit two that are the reason I wanted to make this. It just looks so comfy, so cozy. And I think that this has the potential for that, just with some tweaks. Like, I don't like how the fabric, like, there's so much extra fabric here, but then like none on the arm. I just don't think it looks, it's not how I want it to look. And you may be looking at this sweater on me and thinking, that looks great. What's the matter, Rachel? It doesn't feel great. It doesn't feel great to me. And also, I should say, I haven't made a final decision as to whether or not I will frog this. At the end of the day, this was a month of work. And while frogging and reknitting is certainly nothing that I'm a stranger to, it is saying goodbye to a month of work. And I really want to be sure before I do that. So I think I'm going to wear this several times at least, see what I think, see what I feel, and then make a decision based on that. Maybe I will try this on and wear it throughout the day one day, and I'll be like, I don't know what I was thinking. This fits great. I love how it looks. This is definitely staying in my wardrobe. Or maybe after wearing it, my feelings that I have now will be validated and I can move forward with frogging it. I do have 5 remaining skeins of Pisces on my yarn wall, which is the yarn this is knit up in. So theoretically, I could just start again from those skeins, and if I need more, cross that bridge when I come to it, whether that means harvesting it from this garment or purchasing additional skeins or what, I don't know. But I do know that this is not what I was hoping for this garment, and I know now what changes to make in order to make this a garment that I love and is a wardrobe staple. But right now I'm just not Like, I don't know if my disappointment is influencing my decision. Like, maybe my disappointment is really not that big and I don't need to frog this, but I just don't know now. All I know is that it's not what I had hoped. So I do plan to knit this cardigan again with different yarn. I have some Dove DK and Suri from Treehouse Knits in the colorway The Stories That Really Mattered, which is a really beautiful variegated colorway. And Lauren sent me a treehouse. Lauren sent me a sweater quantity last summer to make this pattern in that yarn. So I have that sweater quantity set aside, ready to go. You know, maybe I will knit this pattern again in that sweater quantity with the modifications I have in mind, just to, you know, confirm or deny if my suspicions are correct that those tweaks would make this the perfect cardigan for what I'm looking for and for what I want to feel and look, you know, what I'm looking for in a cardigan, basically. So that's my thought process there. But I do have this finished object. This is, I believe, the 22nd item that I've made from start to finish so far in 2024, which is awesome. Great. We're not even halfway through the year, and I might finish that 24 and 24 goal before we hit the halfway mark. I was talking to Leslie last week, and I was telling her, like, man, I really wish I had planned ahead so I could have like my knitting plans for the second half of the year video and stuff to go up on June 1st. And she was like, Rachel, no, like that's not how numbers work, dear friend. And Leslie reminded me, like, June has to complete before the second half of the year starts. The second half of the year starts July 1st. So I was like, great, that's awesome. So keep an eye out for that video, since I haven't totally, you know, botched the timeline. But that also makes me realize that I could totally finish the 24 and 24 goal before the year is even half done. That's my new goal. That's my new goal. Actually, this might be is it the 21st or the 22nd? I'm not sure. Whatever, doesn't matter. But to have 24 things done between now and the end of June, I think that's very attainable because I'm so close. I only have a few left. And yeah, okay, great. So that's the update on the Kal Cardigan. It's off my needles, but has it wormed its way into my heart? Time will tell. I'll keep you updated. The next project that I want to update you on is my Azucena. I don't even have it with me, same as last week, because it's in my purse in the other room. That's like so far away. I'd probably die walking there because it's so far. Just kidding, it's just in the other room. But I don't want to get up and get it, so I'm not going to. But I did make progress on that whip. Basically, I knit a row the other day in the car. Okay, so there's the update there. The next project update is a bit of a surprise. So in last week's episode, I told you that I wanted to work through, or at least start working through, 5 skeins from the yarn wall. Guess what? I have worked through 6, or at least I have 6 in work. I've worked through 4. I have 2 more in work. So total of 6 off the yarn wall and in work. That's amazing. Let me show you what I'm working on. Okay, so basically the Kal Cardigan, once I cast this off, I worked on this like Tuesday and Wednesday of last week. I just worked on the Kal Cardigan like straight through the day. Like 2 8-10 hour days of the Kal Cardigan, finished it. Finished the body, finished the sleeve, woven the ends, blocked it, yada, yada, yada. Okay, great. So then I texted my sisters and I said, what should I do? Do you think I should work on a whip? Boring. Or cast on a new project? Ooh, exciting. Anna said, cast on a new project. That way you can get it to a good spot for plain knitting for when I come visit. I'll be visiting her soon. And I thought, that's genius. That is genius. She's so smart. So I did what my sister Anna told me, and I cast on, hold on, it's tangled up here. I cast on a Lento. Here it is. Oh, it's gorgeous. Okay, so I'm making size 5. I've made the Lento once before. I made it in a size 6 last time. This time it's a size 5. I tried it on last night. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna look so hot in this. Amazing. I'm gonna look so good. I'm so excited about this. If you haven't knit the Lento, you knit it, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's 1 strand of fingering weight, 1 strand of lace weight, knit on size US 10 needles. So the gauge is huge, but not so huge that it's like see-through, but it's quite an open gauge. That means that it knits up extremely quickly. So here's what I'm doing. I am using I can show you right here actually. I'm using 1 strand of fuzzy peach fibers in the colorway Wildberry. It's this really pretty variegated purple. It's got speckles, pinks, purples. It's really beautiful. Leslie was destashing these a while ago, so I got 3 skeins from that. And then I was sharing on my stories a few weeks ago about how I wanted to use these 3 skeins of fuzzy peach fibers in a Lento, but I didn't really have a lace weight in my stash that would match. And so Audrey of Dusty Yarn Co. DM'd me and was like, do I have the purple for you? So she sent me photos of 2 purples to choose from. I chose this, which is called Cousins. This is her classic Suri lace base. And that's what I'm knitting it up in. So both of these are the second of 3 skeins. So I already have 1 full skein of Suri and 1 full skein of this fingering merino in the project worked up. And I'm working this up a little differently than I normally would. Oh, it's shedding on me. But basically, when Audrey of Dusty Yarn Co. sent me those 3 Suri skeins, I noticed that they kind of created a fade. Like each one had a little bit different saturation levels of the color. So I wanted to be sure to blend between the skeins. I didn't alternate skeins on this project except for blending in between skein 1 of the Suri and skein 2 of the Suri. So basically I knit the body until sleeve separation. I knit a little bit past sleeve separation, and then I was like, this Suri is coming to an end soon, so I'm gonna move to the sleeves, get it knit up as far as the body is, and then blend it in. So I did that on the first sleeve, and then I went and did that on the second sleeve, and then I went back to the body to blend in the skeins, and guess what? I ran out of the first skein, so I couldn't really blend. Oops, but I think it looks okay. I don't think you can really tell. So there. Yeah, but I've never really done the sleeves first. In fact, last week I was talking about how I've never really done the sleeves first, and then now look at me. I have nearly a finished object. I really just have maybe 5 or 10 rows on each sleeve before the ribbing. I need to try it on before I determine how much longer to knit the sleeves, but I'm pretty much done with both sleeves. And then let's see, I'm on row 22. No, I must be on row 32. 32 of the body, either 22 or 32. And last time I knit the Lento, I knit 60 rows of the body. So about either a third or halfway done with the body. That's pretty impressive. So that is where 4 of my skeins have gone from the yarn wall into this project. I would not be surprised if I finish this project before I even get on the plane to go visit Anna. So I need to cast on another project and get it to a good spot for plain knitting. Maybe that will be the project for the skeins I showed you yesterday. Where did I put them? That ruby, here it is, that Ruby and Roses skein. And then the Rowan mohair, which is on my yarn cubbies here. Maybe that's a good option for plain knitting. We'll see. I can make plans, but that means just a big fat nothing, because I could just change them. Like a millisecond goes by, change my mind. Okay, so there's an update on the Lento. Surprise, I'm knitting a Lento. Really, really liking it, and I recommend this pattern. However, spoiler alert, there are issues with the increases on the Lento. Okay, if you've ever knit the Lento and thought you might have messed up and are losing it a little, it's not you, it's the pattern. The first time I knit it, I thought it was me. It's not me. It's not, it's the pattern. I'll tell you all about it in my FO diary once this is a finished object. Okay, so there's the 4 skeins. What about the other 2 I alluded to, you may be asking? Well, here they are. They're worked up. I did this today, actually. The reason, okay, I'll tell you. The reason why today's podcast filming is later in the day than usual, and therefore why I have knitting/making updates from today, Monday, which I don't usually. I usually only have updates through Sunday for the podcast, because I'm waiting on my travel box for my e-spinner to arrive today. It's currently out for delivery. Yay. So I wanted to hold off on filming the podcast so I could show it to you in acquisitions, but I decided I can't wait any longer. I'm just going to start filming, and then maybe later I can show it to you if it arrives in time. But I don't know. Once I get a bee in my bonnet, I just gotta go. So once I film this, I'll edit it and I'll get it uploading. But so anyway, all that to say, that's why I have this to show you, because I thought I'm waiting to film the podcast anyway. I don't want to go on to this little internet space and say, oh, I didn't meet my goal. I told you I was going to try and get 5 skeins off the wall, and I didn't do it. I only got 4. Well, guess what? I got 6, okay? So this is a scarf that I cranked today on my circular sock machine. It is 2 skeins of the silky boucle fingering from Treehouse Knits. I purchased these 2 skeins during the Favorites Collection Overflow. Look how good this looks with the Kal Cardigan. Is this scarf saving the Kal Cardigan from being frogged? That is a look, I must say. Focus. Okay, so what did I tell you already? I cranked this. I told you that, right? Yeah, I cranked this on my Dean & Bean circular sock machine. It's 2 skeins of the silky boucle. Did I tell you the colorway? If not, you'll hear it again. It's worth fighting for. Did I tell you I got it with favorite? Oh my goodness, I don't know what I've said. I'm so sorry. But you're watching this by choice, so it's not my fault you have bad taste. Yeah, this was about 1,000 rows, 1,014 rows to be precise, of cranking the boucle, 2 full skeins minus some scraps. It didn't take that long at all. I cranked it on a 72 needle cylinder, which is the biggest cylinder I have for the machine. I don't know how long it is, but it's long enough to wrap twice comfortably. Probably could go again if I really wanted to cozy up. But let me show you the stats for this. This is a 70% mulberry silk, 30% merino blend, and it's really nice. This is not a base that Treehouse Knits offers for every collection, but if she ever offers it again, I would definitely recommend you getting it because it's very soft, and it's like a fingering / sport weight boucle, which typically when I see boucles with indie dyers, it's usually a DK. So if you're looking for a fingering / sport boucle, keep an eye out for Treehouse Knits restocking this base. This scarf is kind of disgusting in some ways, and by disgusting I mean could be better. For instance, I grafted this end together. That was great, but then when I got to this end, I don't know, forgot my name and which way was left and which way was right, and I just sewed it together. So this looks a bit more of a raw edge, whereas this looks a bit more of a finished edge, but there's pros and cons because this finished edge, for whatever reason, doesn't want to lay flat. It wants to remind you that it's a tube. It reminds me of a toaster strudel, just in the shape in the corners. I don't know. And this one, although the raw edge is not maybe as beautiful. It does lay flat more than the toaster strudel end of the scarf. But very happy with this. I think it looks very good. Like I said, it's really making the Kal Cardigan shine. Like maybe it's not so bad. I don't know. As always, I reserve the right to change my mind. I reserve the right to make decisions that you may think are delusional or overreacting, because it's clothes for my body that we're talking about. So ultimately, I have the in charge pants on. There you go. All right, so there we go. We have 6 skeins off the wall and worked up. So that's all the project updates I have. I didn't really work on the ranunculus this week because it was stressing me out to like find time that's set aside for me just working on that. So anyway, I didn't work on it. Counterintuitive. I need to work on it this week because I really want to get that video, how much does a hand knit sweater cost, up and on the channel. So in order to do that, I need to make a hand knit sweater with my timer and calculate the cost. So you see the bind I'm in here. So that's it for project updates. I do have a goal for next week, since I shared, well, not just next week, the next little bit, since I shared my goal for this week and I knocked it out of the park, I might as well keep sharing my goals. So my goal for the next few whatever is to make a sweater from start to finish. I want to make a sweater from start to finish on my trip to visit my sister. We'll see if I can do it. I, in the past, have done this, like my other sister, Ellie, and I, a few years ago for a trip for me going back home to Oregon, we challenged each other to make a throw over from start to finish, and we both were successful. We did it while I was home for like a 2-week period, so I'm gonna see if I can do that when I go visit Anna. I'm thinking of doing my Carrie Woolen Mills into a Miles shirt jacket. So I think surely I could do that, but we'll see. I may end up doing my Over the Sea to Sky yarn because that is really speaking to me and drawing me in. So I'm not sure which I'll do. Maybe neither of those options, and I'll do a secret third option, but that is a goal I have for the next little bit. During my trip, I want to try to finish a sweater. Maybe lofty, maybe delusional, but there's only one way to find out, and that is to try. So I will be trying that, and I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, so now that we've gone over project updates and my upcoming goals, now let's talk about spinning. Something very exciting with spinning, and I'll take you back over to the wheel, is I started spinning Rolags. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you. So if you remember, my friend Corey sent me a box of Rolags and I've started spinning them, and I have learned that I love spinning Rolags. They are so fun, and even more so spinning yarn that has multiple colors in it is so rewarding after spinning a single color fiber for so long. I'm really, really enjoying it. Okay, let's go back to the desk. In addition to spinning Rolags, I also plied up the last, or most of the last, of the fiber on one of my bobbins from when I was spinning the Corriedale on the spinning wheel. So now I have my main chunky skein, which I showed you last week, and then I also have this little itty bitty skein. So my first 2 little skeins. Something that I want to do before my trip is, let me unclamp Elliot. I want to get this off the bobbin. I want to chain it, or not chain it, ply it up. I think I'm going to try a chain ply based on some comments on my most recent spin vlog video. But honestly, this may come with me to my sister's house. I mean, the e-spinner will be coming with me, but this bobbin specifically may be coming with me because I don't know if I have the mental fortitude to tackle chain plying before I leave, but we'll see. Anything could happen, as always, but there's a spin update. I started spinning Rolags. Oh, there's another thing actually to tell you in my spinning update. But before I tell you, you have to promise that you will still be my friend. Promise? Okay, so anyway, I was cleaning out my nightstand and I found a bag of hair. Okay, you promised, I found a bag of my hair because I get it cut like every 1 to 3 years, depending on how lazy I am. Yeah, like it's just not where I put my money. It's not where I put my time. I feel like if I'm gonna go to the salon every month, every 2 months, this stuff is still grown out of my head. What a waste of money. I want to get the most bang for my buck, so I let it grow out several years, and then I just chop it off in a very aggressive way. Okay, so anyway, I found a bag of hair from a few years ago that my hairdresser like put in pigtails and then cut off. I think she thought I was going to donate them, but little does she know that I am not a reasonable person. So anyway, I found a bag of my hair and I was like, you know what? What would Rumpelstiltskin do? He would try to spin this. And so that's what I did. And it was a nightmare. I tried to spin it on one of my Rolags. It was a nightmare. I'm not even going to show you, but yeah. So I did try to spin my own hair. It was a train wreck, but guess what? I'm going to do it again. I'm going to try to do it again. And there is nothing you can do to stop me. Yeah. Anyway, that happened, and that is the update on my spinning journey. Okay, so we've done project updates, we've done spin diary. Now let's talk about acquisitions. I don't have any, but as I said, I'm waiting on my travel box for my e-spinner to arrive. If you don't see it in this video, surely you'll see it in the next video. This is also a good time to tell you that I'm going to make it my goal to continue to upload weekly podcasts, even throughout my travels to visit my sister. But if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. My priority is not the podcast, it's spending time with my sister and her family. Okay, so there we go. Yeah. Next, we have announcements. One announcement is Tour de Fleece is coming up. The 100 Days of Spinning Challenge goes through July 7th. The Tour de Fleece starts on July 1st. So there will be some crossover there. And then the Tour de Fleece extends to July 23rd, I believe. It's basically the same time frame, I think, as Tour de France. And that is the extent of what I know about it. I will be spinning on a team with Leslie and Camry from Golden Hour Knitwear, and I don't really know who else. It's not up to me. I decided. So Leslie and Camry will tell me what we're doing, and I'll say, aye, aye, Captain, let's go. So I'll be spinning on a team. I'll be logging, I don't know, some data about what I spin. I don't know what that is yet. I don't really care, except that I'll be enjoying myself and having fun. That's what is important to me with Tour de Fleece. But I will be participating. Someone asked on a vlog video, spin vlog video, if you could look forward to Tour de Fleece updates, and yes, you can. They just probably won't be in real time. They may be uploaded after the fact or in the same manner that I do my spin vlog updates, which is if there is a 10-day increment that has ended over the course of the last week, then on Sunday, the spin vlog goes up. So for instance, yesterday, Sunday, June 2nd, my spin vlog went up because May 30th, the 10-day increment cutoff, happened over the course of last week, if that makes sense. So I will be doing updates on Tour de Fleece. I just don't know what the schedule of that will be. Basically right now, the only real-time videos that go up are my Tuesday podcasts, and then my uploads on Thursdays and Saturdays and Sundays where applicable are me catching up on the backlog of videos I filmed and edited and have scheduled for upload. So if you see a video and you're like, wait, didn't this already happen? I remember this from Instagram, or I remember this being mentioned in the podcast. You're not losing it. It's just the reality of filming and editing. I can't upload everything in real time or close to real time because that's not sustainable, and it would mean you have like content overload. So I'm just trying to, make it sustainable and last a little bit into the future. So again, Tour de Fleece content updates. Yes. Schedule. I don't know. We'll see. The next announcement is a reminder that this Saturday, June 8th, I will be at Hook and Needle, also known as Maryville Yarn Studio, which is a local yarn store in Maryville, Tennessee. I will be there for Worldwide Knit in Public Day. I'll be giving a talk and a demonstration on the cordsmith. So if that's interesting to you and you're in East Tennessee and you'd love to see a great local yarn store, chat with me in person, I would love to meet you, love to hang out with you, love to knit with you. So head over to Hook and Needle on June 8th and I'll see you there. Okay, the final announcement is that in the video description box, I have a link to a Google form where you can submit YouTube video ideas or YouTube videos you would love to see on this channel. Maybe that's questions you have or curiosities you have or things that you would like me to teach or talk about or whatever. Feel free to submit those ideas onto that Google form. I got this idea from Leslie, who I believe will also be doing this at some point. I think it's a great idea. I've gotten a lot of suggestions since I started this channel, and I do keep track of them, but it's easy to forget the order or who suggested what, or maybe the urgency of that suggestion. So if you would like to utilize the Google form, I would be so appreciative, and I'll do my best to get through whatever list is compiled from that form. So yes, great, awesome. There, we did it. We have a podcast. Talked about all the things I want to talk about, and I think that's it. On my to-do list for the rest of the day is to get some ducks in a row. Like, I need to pack, I need to knit, I need to, I don't know, look out the window for the mail carrier to come with my e-spinner travel box. And I also need to spin. So it's a full day over here. I'm sure it is for you too. So I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch my videos and to support my channel. So with that said, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you don't already, and hit that notification bell to be notified of my next upload. Last but not least, head over to Instagram and follow me at Rachel is Knitting if you don't already. All right, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.